Yeah, and I think that leads into, season four, right? Because season four is like what happens now, right? So Caleb, how would you describe season four of a business and how you support that business, how humility comes into that?
Well, yeah, because now you've shifted your identity and you've been coaching people and elevating them to be successful. So now you need a new vision for your life. Are you going to continue to be the visionary of this company and just keep empowering others to run it? Or are you going to sell it? Or are you going to empower a successor to completely take it over and you're going to go start something else? Do you want to retire? Do you want to spin off a new business? So it's like there's a new opportunity to envision the future. And you have built this thing up so that other people can run it. So are you going to play like in EOS, you can sit in the owner's box and you can just kind of help encourage and advise from afar, or you can spin that sucker off, sell it, find a successor or whatever, and make a clean break and go, be a philanthropist or start the next thing. It requires a new vision for the next season.
Yeah, I love the way you describe that. One of the things that we do at Nine Stone, when we think about marketing and sales, right? So you got sales execution and sales systems related to marketing strategy. All this stuff kind of works together, right? With advertising and leadership. We actually have to reverse engineer things. We got to start at the end. Kind of, okay, what is your end game? What does your season four look like? And how far away is that?
Mm.
And if our clients don't have a sense of what that is, it's harder. It's harder to figure out how are we going to create systems and sales execution plans to achieve that if we're not really sure where they're going. So like, do you want to sell in 2 to 3 years? If the answer is yes, then we know we're trying to get this kind of revenue growth, this kind of multiplier on your business, whether it's on EBITDA or seller discretionary earnings or whatever, right? Who are you selling to, etc. No, you don't want to sell. You just want to get to a place where it's stable and grows at this rate, which is a totally different plan. So we find that it's really important for a leader to kind of have a sense of that. But you know what, Caleb? I think that we run into a lot of businesses that really don't know what they want to do next
Sure,
with that.
sure.
Or they're kind of like, well, I'm not there yet. I'll just kind of think about it in 10 years.
Yeah, I'll think about that later. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you should mention. We just took on a client, and they have a very clear vision for themselves. They want to sell in 3 years, and they're looking for a certain revenue so they can get a certain multiple at sale. And we put together a profit projection and a revenue projection for them, and we showed them, okay, there's to hit the goal you're after. There's definitely enough people that can provide the sales and revenue that you're looking for and do so profitably at the volume that you're needing by that year. So then we just go, okay, we're going to start at 5 or 10% of the market spend. It's going to give you this many leads, this many sales. This is what you have to plan for. And then at this juncture point, a year out, we should be at this spend. It's going to give you this many leads. You're going to get this many sales you're going to have to process. So, and you can put that roadmap together. It is working back, as Alex says, working back from that,
Yeah.
where they want to go and telling them how to operationalize that along the way.
But Aaron, you and I tend to spend a lot of time executing on that plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to help the company get there. But Caleb, what do you see in season four as the the challenges that people experience, the business owners experience, teams experience as they're in this like succession planning, what to do next as a team?
Yeah, it really has to start with the owner, the visionary, the leader, the person. That it comes down to that person, that man or woman, their heart's desire. So it's really important to kind of be able to step back. We've been working in season 3 by empowering our leaders and growing as a coach. We've been working to set them up to operate the business. So now we really need to take a step back, do a self-assessment, decide what do we really want. because some people want to stay as the visionary in the company until their dying day. And that's okay. If that's what they want to do, that's okay. But have that clear expectation so that the rest of the people in your business can play their parts. The worst thing is to waffle back and forth every month. So I'm going to sell. No, I'm going to stay. I'm going to sell. I'm going to stay. I'm going to hire. I'm going to, lift up a successor. No, I'm going to take it back over. That's the worst. So doing the inner work and meeting with a coach and getting the support to be able to make a decision and see it through is the most important thing. And then the company can rally.
Caleb, is it sort of like, are you finding yourself in a conversation where you're kind of helping them to understand what it is that might make them the most happy or bring them the most joy?
Yeah, sometimes it is. It's sometimes, and that can take several months or a year, kind of guiding them through that journey, because it might be really hard for them to get their mind around it. Because some of us have just, all we know is just putting our heads down and grinding, and
Right.
that's all we know. And so to begin to think that there's a life different than that takes a little bit of time. It's possible. I've seen it. I've seen people transition. But it takes some time, some coaching, some guidance, some support. And then people they need to come to that conclusion on their own, but they do and they can.
Well, I totally agree. And we appreciate you being on, chatting with us, right? So if you want to connect with Caleb, you're welcome to check out theleaderclub.com. What's another way to get a hold of you, Caleb?
Theleaderclub.com, or you can just shoot me an email, caleb@theleaderclub.com. And we can connect and we can talk about EOS. We can talk about the Leader Club and the psychological operating system that we need to improve upon as leaders.
So what we've found, Aaron, I think is, companies that want to grow, which is everybody for the most part, most people at least, they need sales and systems, and they also need the ability to execute on these things, right? So that's everything from being a leader to empowering your team to actually, like, what is your entrepreneurial operating system, your system for growing operations, right? And that's why I've really enjoyed working with you all, right? Because the three of us help organizations in different ways towards the same goal. So when you know what that goal is, you really need, you need an A-team. And it's been really fun working with an A-team.
Yeah, I second that. And I'd say it brings us joy.
Yeah, there you go.